We are going to discuss two NBA stories in today's video. Please do me a solid, like and share this video. Subscribe if it's your first time here as we discuss the NBA playoffs here in the association. We're going to start first with the Celtics. They clinched the series with a pretty high margin victory. The series is now over 4-1. The Celtics advance to the next round, and they win final score 120-89. Magic never really had a chance in this series, in my opinion. They fought tough for the first half. I would say things were pretty close. The Magic actually were up in the first quarter. Celtics kind of cut into that lead a little bit in the second quarter. And then in the third quarter, the Celtics just put the clamps on the Magic, scoring 36 points and then holding the Magic to 13. And then the fourth quarter was just smooth sailing for the Celtics. Individually, I think nothing really surprising, but as a team, the Celtics shot just so much better than the Magic. 56% overall for their field goal percentage, 37% for the Magic. The three-point shooting percentage discrepancy actually, I believe, worse, with the Celtics shooting 54% and the Magic only making 8 of their 38 threes. That just won't cut it. And then the rebounding edge actually went to the Magic, but you just look at that shooting and you realize they didn't have a chance. They had tons of offensive rebounds. They just couldn't get anything to fall. They didn't turn over the ball excessively. There was nothing there outside of just a poor shooting performance. And then looking at some of the individual efforts, Paolo had 19 points. Not a great game for him, 6 of 15 shooting from the field. Franz was pretty solid, 25 points. Wendell Carter Jr., 12 points. But you had two starters who really couldn't offensively impact the game much for the Magic. Corey Joseph couldn't do anything. He had 20 points, 20 minutes of action, 0 points. KCP never really impacted this series. 8 points in 30 minutes of action. And then off the bench, you really didn't get much outside of Anthony Black. For the Boston Celtics, it was the Jason Tatum show. 35 points, 4 of 5 from 3, 11 for 11 free throws. Jaylen Brown was very good, 23 points, throw in his 6 rebounds and 3 assists. And then off the bench, a little bit from Sam Hauser, a little bit from Peyton Pritchard. I think mostly Pritchard. He's been their 6th man of the year, in my opinion. One of the most impactful players when he plays well. I like the Celtics' chance to win. But a quiet night for Kristaps and Derek White, who haven't really offensively impacted the series too much, but they move on. Right, that's what this is really all about. The Celtics taking care of business, what we expected. I think the series played out the way we thought it would, and the Celtics are the better team, and I think they're ready to move on to the next opponent. And their next opponent obviously is going to have their hands full. I think it's pretty clear. Whoever has to play the Celtics, it's not going to be it's not going to be fun. There's a lot of guys to defend. There's a lot you have to kind of do in order to get a win against the Celtics. All right, moving on, looking at some of the action here from the Knicks. This game was much closer, and the games have been close between these two teams. The Knicks lost this game in a very specific way. I'm gonna explain to you guys what exactly happened. All right, so in terms of just the box scores, game was close relative to the number of possessions each team had. Relative to the shooting percentages between these two teams, the Knicks shot the ball a little bit better from 3. The free throw percentage was poor. I think they only made 59% of their free throws. Rebounding edge went to the Knicks, both on the defensive glass and the offensive glass. It was really, a game of the shooting percentages, because turnovers-wise, these teams were very similar. There wasn't really much there to indicate that there was something happening underneath the hood that required some attention. I think the game was close. It was obviously just a one-possession game. Tobias Harris was solid, 17 points. Asar Thompson kind of had what I believe his best game of the series, 22 points on 8 of 10 shooting, 6 of 12 from the free throw line. Tim Hardaway Jr., 8 points, not much there. Jalen Duren, 9 points. Cade was excellent, 24 points, throwing his 8 rebounds and 8 assists. He had 2 steals and a block. 5 turnovers for Cade. Got to clean that up a little bit. But off the bench, Schroeder with 14 points. Malik Beasley with 10 points. Now, where the game was won and lost, right? Karl Anthony Towns has had major impacts in this series, and so has Jalen Brunson. Those two guys were kind of quiet tonight. All right, Karl Anthony Towns, 17 points, 5 of 14 shooting. It's not really going to get it done. Jalen Brunson, 16 points, 4 of 16 shooting. That's not going to get it done. Your team needs more. Josh Hart gave you 15, more than enough. OG gave you 19. Mikal Bridges, 17. That's more than enough. 13 off the bench for Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks had a chance to win this game, and Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson offensively didn't play that great. This game could have been a closeout game for the Knicks. At home, they ended up losing. Now the series is going to shift back to Detroit with a chance to even the series 3-3 to set up a Game 7 in New York. I really do hope the series goes 7 games. I predicted the Pistons to actually win the last game, right? But you never know, right? These things. I'm going to go with the Pistons for Game 6 just because I want to see a Game 7. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. Let me know what you think about the performances from the Pistons and the Knicks and what you think about a possible Game 6 and who you pick. And do you think the Pistons can make this interesting, a 7-game series back to New York, Madison Square Garden? Let me know. Drop me some comments. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys soon on the next one.